What's up?
Oh, I'm just compiling all the top sports scores, news, and odds so I can make the very best bets.
Me too. BetOnline.ag.
Join today and receive your 50% welcome bonus at betonline.ag.
The Celtics lose a tough one in Game 3, falling to the Milwaukee Bucks 123-116. Welcome inside TD Garden. I'm Sierra Goodwill, joined by Jeff Goodman of Stadium and Jimmy Toscano.
What up?
And unfortunately, a major storyline in this game was the sheer volume of foul calls. It didn't allow the game to pick up any sort of flow, any sort of momentum. It controlled the pace. It really didn't seem like either team was able to hit a stride on either end of the court because of the amount of fouls that were called in this game. How frustrating is that to see?
Well, I think the post-game storyline was Kyrie's whining about Giannis's dominance and him getting the line. But the actual storyline was Giannis's dominance and getting to the line in the third quarter, and the Celtics failing to defend in the third quarter, giving up 40 points. Again, Kyrie, just put your head down and play the game, right?
Right, and the post-game comments kind of dictate to me, is that what these guys are thinking during the game? Is that kind of what led to the Bucks to sort of roll into that lead more and more and more? Because if you look, early in the fourth quarter, it was still anyone's game. I think it was 9 points with 9 minutes to go, and the Celtics had a chance to say, okay, guys, let's put the past behind us. Let's don't get the refs in our heads. Let's just play basketball. They didn't do that. The Bucks opened it up to about 16, I think it was, and that was the end of it. So it was kind of, I think, frustrating as a fan to, sure, watch all those fouls. So I think if you don't like the NBA, that's exactly what you don't like about the NBA if you were watching the game casually. But if you are a basketball fan and you're a Celtics fan, you were frustrated to see how the Celtics reacted.
Right. And this Garden Report is brought to you by betonline.ag. Head to clnsmedia.com/win. Enter promo code CLNS50 for 50% cash back on your first deposit. And I think what Boston Celtics fans will remember the most is those fouls in the third quarter at a time that was extremely pivotal, where Milwaukee was starting to pull away. Jaylen Brown picked up those 2 quick fouls. This place went absolutely insane. The refs suck chants ringing throughout TD Garden, when in reality the numbers were pretty even. 25 fouls called on the Celtics, 24 on the Bucks. They both attempted in the 30s free throws. The Celtics actually made more free throws than the Bucks did. It was just the timing of the fouls that seemed to bite the Celtics.
Yeah, and I think Giannis showed that he's the best player on the court tonight. And he's probably the best player on the court, period. He imposed his will because of his size, because of his ability to get to the basket and finish through contact or draw contact. When Kyrie tried to do that, there's a big difference, right? Kyrie got swallowed up at times. He tries to avoid the contact, but again, they've got a lot of size and length, and they're able to protect the basket. And you kind of saw the difference in the two teams and how they can defend and what they have in terms of length and talent up front.
Kyrie's so good and so quick getting to the hoop, where he oftentimes can't avoid majority of contact, which helps him get to the rim, but prevents him from getting the foul call, maybe like a Giannis would, where he would just barrel forward.
He embraces the contact.
Exactly. And I think that may be the blueprint for the Bucks going forward. They know that they have the most talented player on the court, maybe in the NBA, most likely in the NBA. I mean, they should be giving him the ball and saying, here, take this and go do your thing. I mean, that seems to be working for the majority of this NBA season for them. I don't know why they would get away from that now.
Yeah, the Celtics definitely less decisive than the Bucks are when driving to the hoop. Now that they fall behind in the series 2-1, the Bucks take the lead, have control. Game 4 on Monday night back here at TD Garden. How much pressure does this loss put on that game?
I mean, you have to win this game now. I mean, you have to win Game 4 at home. If you don't, you go to Milwaukee down 3-1. It's going to be difficult for a team that's been very inconsistent all year to then come back from a 3-1 deficit and win 3 straight games. That's just not their MO this year. So they got to win this one at home, get momentum, then it's a 3-game series. And again, if you can play well, certainly they've got the talent overall to be able to beat this Bucks team. They showed it in Game 1, but it's just flipped very quick. Again, this team, super inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean, Game 4s are usually the most important game in a series because it's going to dictate a 2-2 or a 3-1 or 4-0, and if that's the case, then you had no shot to begin with. But I think you nailed it. It hasn't been their MO all year. The way they respond this year hasn't been great. So for them to come out on Monday and get a W would be huge for them, not just because it would mean that they can have a chance in the series, but it would go against how they've performed throughout the regular season.
We'll definitely find out what the Celtics are made of on Monday night. For all the coverage leading up to Game 4, head to clnsmedia.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel at CLNS Media.